presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Home sweet home, it's where the heat is, and this is baseball's hottest team, the Diamondbacks, back from a 7-1 road trip and off to their best start ever, opening up a long 10-game homestand. And tonight, the first of 4 against the Phillies as Patrick Corbin faces Mark Leiter. It's D-backs baseball back home on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume and Bob Brenly along the way. Great to be back home here at Chase Field as we open the first of 4 against the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Diamondbacks, Bob, off to their best start ever. Their MVP caliber first baseman maybe having his best season ever.
Yeah, that's a little scary for National League pitchers facing Paul Goldschmidt. The way he's been swinging the bat over his last 9 games, he has been absolutely on fire. A .463 batting average with 9 extra base hits, including 5 homers. He's driven in 17 runs in his last 9 games rather. What makes him a perennial MVP candidate is he makes everybody around him better. The 1 and 2 hitters in the D-backs lineup have scored 23 runs in their last 9 games.
A change in the Diamondback bullpen now. J.J. Hoover on the DL with shoulder inflammation. And look who's back. Ruby De La Rosa back from his minor league rehab after an elbow injury.
Tremendous numbers down at AAA Reno this season. He was shut down at the end of May last year. Pitched 2 games in September and then underwent stem cell procedure at the end of September. Good to see Ruby back in uniform, pounding some fists, heading down to that bullpen.
Big crowd here tonight. Fans are excited. We are set to go. The Diamondbacks and the Philadelphia Phillies. It's the first of 4 from Chase Field. First pitch is coming up next on Fox Sports Arizona. Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Experience winning like you've never imagined at the Gila River Casino, Lone Butte, Wild Horse Pass, and Bequiva. By Jack in the Box and the Jumbo Jack, a home run for your mouth. By Santan Ford, we are Santan Ford. By Sport Clips, it's good to be a guy. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by your Valley Honda dealer, where you get more standard features for less money. By Gigablast Internet from Cox. Get ready for the gig life. By Oregano. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint, location statewide. And by State Farm, here to help life go right. The hottest team in baseball, your Arizona Diamondbacks, winners of 9 of their last 10, 12 of their last 14. Chris Iannetta and Patrick Corbin, the battery tonight. It's the first of 4 against the Phillies, and the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Finally back home in the air-conditioned comfort of Chase Field. The roof is closed, and we are set to go. The Diamondbacks, who've won 11 of their last 12 home games, open up a 10-game homestand against baseball's worst team, the Philadelphia Phillies. And here's the starting lineup for Pete Maccannon's ball club. It's brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Yeah, rebuilding continues for the Phillies. Cameron Perkins was not with the team when we were in Philadelphia on that last trip. He'll be leading it off and playing left field tonight. Freddie Galvis at shortstop. Aaron Altair, a Valley resident, out in right field. Tommy Joseph, another Valley resident, at first base. Mikael Franco down at third. Odubel Herrera in center field. Andres Blanco playing somewhere. Second base. Cameron Rupp doing the catching, and right-hander Mark Leiter Jr. on the mound.
Left-hander Patrick Corbin is your Ram truck starter for the D-backs, his 15th start. Patrick has won his last 2 times out to beat the Padres here at Chase Field, and then a win over these Phillies a week ago tonight at Philadelphia.
You have to go all the way back to July of 2013, the last time Patrick Corbin won 3 consecutive starts. He's really been throwing the ball well the last 3 times out.
All right, on defense for the D-backs, brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Another start in left field for Daniel Descalso tonight. Ray Fuentes will be out in center field with David Peralta in right. It'll be Lamb, Owings, Drury, and Goldschmidt third to first across the infield, with Chris Iannetta behind the plate tonight for lefty Patrick Corbin.
Adrian Johnson behind the plate for the umpires tonight. He'll have the balls and strikes. The crew chief Gary Cedarstrom's at first base. Shane Livensparger at second, and Gabe Morales is at third. Time now, BB, for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, we've said the last couple starts it looks like Patrick has perhaps turned the corner, so just keep putting one foot in front of the other. We know what Patrick Corbin is capable of doing out there on the mound. Hopefully his last couple starts will give him the confidence to keep moving forward.
Phillies 25 games under 500, 23-48, the worst record in baseball. And Cameron Perkins leads it off. The homestand is underway on a Friday night in Phoenix with strike one. Perkins only 2 for 11 in his major league career. He was a Phillies 6th round pick in the 2012 draft. Out of Purdue, just made his big league debut the other day. Phillies created a spot for Perkins on their roster by parting ways with Michael Saunders, who was still with the Phils when we were in Philadelphia last weekend. There's skipper Pete Mackanin. They're in rebuild mode big time here, and Saunders, who got a 1-year $9 million free agent deal, just wasn't working out, so they said we might as well have some kids play and take the at bats. Right back to the mound. Corbin's got it. One away.
Now the Phillies are in a situation no major league team ever wants to be in, but I think they've come to the conclusion after the start they've had this season, and we might as well take a look at some of these kids, see what we have moving forward. Really no sense spinning your wheels with a guy like Michael Saunders, even though they still owe him a bunch of money. They're looking for the team of the future in Philadelphia.
Freddie Galvis, the shortstop, switch hitter, batting from the right-hand side. 242, 7 home runs. He homered yesterday in their win over the Cardinals. Howie Kendrick was initially batting second in the Phillies lineup. He had a little hamstring problem, so he was scratched. Blanco plays second base and bats 7th, and Galvis was moved up into the 2-hole. There's Howie Kendrick.
Scratching Howie Kendrick did not draw a tear in that Diamondbacks clubhouse, I guarantee you.
Yeah, he's not a bad hitter in this ballpark. Ooh. Howie Kendrick. In fact, he's a .420 career hitter here in 16 games. That's on a play. Hopefully Patrick Corbin can get off to a nice clean start tonight. And with Patrick, we've talked about this issue in the first inning this year. He's given up 18 first inning runs in 14 starts. And opponents are hitting .365 against Corbin in the first inning this year. However, he was very effective, a 1-2-3 first against these Phillies last week.
He's faced 71 hitters before tonight in the first inning, giving up 15 extra base hits.
Well, last week at Citizens Bank Park, Patrick got a strikeout, 2 ground balls in that first inning. In fact, he opened up with 3 1-2-3 innings. Didn't give up a hit until the 4th inning. Peralta won't get there. Fuentes has to back up. Galvis can run. He's headed for third. And Alon Samuel will stop him there. David laid out, and he's still laying on the ground out there in right center.
I thought that ball might slice back a little bit toward David as he pursued it out there in the gap in right center. Just a little bit short off the end of the glove right there.
4th triple this year for Freddie Galvis. He's at third with 1 out. Just off the tip of the glove. Here is Aaron Altair. Leads the Phillies in home runs and runs batted in. Goldie's got it at first. Galvis will score, and it's 1-0 Phillies. But Goldie took a double away there from Aaron Altair at least.
The old Inspector Gadget cartoons,
sure,
when the arm would just keep extending farther and farther out. That's what Goldie looked like. I thought that ball was going to get by him down the right field line, but he just kept sticking that glove out there farther and farther. Able to make the play at first, although the Phillies take an early 1-0 lead.
So they retire Altair. Here's another Valley native, Tommy Joseph. He homered yesterday in their win over the Cardinals at Citizens Bank Park. Out of Horizon High School in Scottsdale, 261, 11 home runs. Joseph has hit safely in 16 of his last 17 games. He's been just about their best hitter as of late.
Yeah, most National League hitters enjoy coming here to Chase Field. Certainly has a history of being an offensive ballpark, but Nobody more so than Tommy Joseph and Aaron Altair getting a chance to come back home, spend some time with friends and families for a couple days, come to the ballpark where they probably grew up watching games.
Yeah, Aaron Altair, growing up in Avondale, was a huge Diamondbacks fan as a kid. Steve Finley was his favorite player. Patrick behind on Joseph, 3-1. Michael Franco on deck. He walked him.
That would not have happened to Tommy Joseph last year when he came in here to Chase Field.
It was rough.
We talked about it in Philadelphia. He was squeezing the bat handle so hard there was sawdust falling out of his hands. He was just over-amped to play this series last year.
And
much more under control this year.
A lot of friends and family in the stands last year, and I'm sure he does again this weekend. But the Phillies came in here and swept the Diamondbacks last season, but boy, Tommy Joseph had a tough series. Phillies third baseman is Michael Franco. Patrick starts him off with strike one. Franco, 224, 8 home runs. Franco's season has been a major disappointment, but he's started to swing the bat a little more effectively lately. Last 11 games he's hit .310 and drawn 7 walks over that span, which is a sign that his near total lack of plate discipline may be improving. He was swinging at everything when we saw him last weekend. Hits it right to Jake Lamb at third. Phillies get a run. Diamondbacks coming up. Off against your Ram truck starter for the Phillies, it's Mark Leiter Jr., 26-year-old righty, a rookie making just his 13th major league appearance and his first ever start. This is Mark Leiter's son and Al Leiter's nephew, so pitching, BB, is the family business.
Yeah, apparently so. And yeah, just looking at some of the charts of the pitches that Mark Leiter Jr. throws, very similar to Daddy. 2-seamer, a 4-seamer. He throws a slider. His best out pitch is a split-fingered fastball. He'll mix in an occasional curveball, an occasional cutter. Nothing overpowering, just has to hit his spots.
There is Daniel Descalso, the start in left field tonight, and batting in the leadoff spot. Gregor Blanco getting another day off from Torey Lovullo. Descalso 208 and 5 home runs. Blanco had yesterday off in Denver, getting another day. Torey likes to get these guys back-to-back days sometimes. So it's Descalso leading off in left field and Fuentes batting 8th in center. One and two.
I was on the coaching staff of the San Francisco Giants when Mark Leiter Sr. pitched a couple of years with the Giants. He was a battler.
Well, he just got a strikeout in his first big league start. Here's the lineup for Torey Lovullo's D-backs, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Left fielder Danny Descalso goes down on strikes to start the game for the D-backs. David Peralta making his way to the plate. He's out in right field with Paul Goldschmidt at first, Jake Lamb at third, Chris Owings at shortstop, Brandon Drury at second base, Chris Iannetta doing the catching tonight, Ray Fuentes in center field, and Patrick Corbin on the mound.
David Peralta thankfully appears none the worse for wear after that diving catch attempt in right center field. And boy, is he hitting this year. .332 and 7 home runs. David had 4 hits in Wednesday's win over the Rockies. He was off yesterday, so he opens up this homestand with a 5-game hitting streak. Big crowds expected here this weekend. Diamondbacks finally back home. First of a 10-game homestand. It's 4 against the Phillies. Blanco at second. 2 outs. Our eye on defense for the Phillies. Brought to you by Nationwide Vision Center.
Cameron Perkins in left. Odubel Herrera in center field. Aaron Altair over in right. It'll be Michael Franco at third base. Freddie Galvis is short. Andres Blanco at second base, Tommy Joseph at first base, and Cameron Rupp doing the catching for right-hander Mark Leiter Jr.
Here's Goldie. Paul Goldschmidt hitting .335, 18 home runs, leading the majors in RPIs and leading the National League in OPS. Sends one out to left center. Odubel Herrera calling off Perkins. And Leiter works a 1-2-3 first. Diamondbacks trail the Phillies 1-0. The Phillies 1-0, set for the top of the second inning. Let's welcome now the newest member of our Fox Sports Arizona team, downstairs to Pat Paris. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Steve. Great to be with you guys. You know, after covering about 15 years with the St. Louis Cardinals, I got to see a couple of world championships, a couple of teams that, well, 3 teams that had over 100 wins in a season. And just a little bit of time that I spent around this ball club, you get that same sense, don't you, that this team is on a mission, maybe a team that comes out on the field every night expecting to win, not just hoping to win. It's translated in a lot of wins, and it's translated into a team that's a lot of fun to watch, as evidenced by the crowd today and what you'll see all weekend long.
And I think, Pat and Bob, it's a team that's together. That's what BB really stands out to me.
Well, because everybody's been involved. Torey's made sure that this is a unit. This is a group. There's not one star on this team. I mean, it'd be easy to point to Paul Goldschmidt or Jake Lamb, the guys with the big numbers, but Torey's made it very clear that everybody that's in uniform here at Chase Field tonight is a member of this team and is expected to do their job.
And guys, watching your broadcast from Colorado from Coors Field, it was the loss after game 1, but the way they rebounded in game 2 was very impressive, and the way they continued it again in the finale of that series to win the series. But a team that can bounce back from a first game of a 3-game series at Colorado like that is a special team.
Yeah, resilient is the word that Torey Lovullo often uses.
Pat, I just have one other question. Why weren't you on the road trip?
Because you had 3 off days sprinkled in there, and no thanks.
Well, we'll always have Paris. I bet that's the first time you've ever heard that.
Yeah, first time ever.
Odubel Herrera leads off the second. Thanks, Pat. We'll check back in with Pat Paris over the course of the ball game. Second hit for the Phillies against Patrick Corbin. That brings up the second baseman, Andres Blanco. Blanco 190 and a homer. A late addition to the lineup after Howie Kendrick was a last-minute scratch with a tight hamstring. So it's Blanco at second base tonight. Odubel Herrera has had some base-running misadventures lately, to put it politely. Phillies people less than thrilled with his performance on the bases. Got picked off third the other day. It's not gone well.
Run through stop signs at third base. Kind of freelancing on the bases, if you will.
I'm sure managers and coaches love that.
Oh, yeah.
So keep an eye on Herrera over there at first. Freddie Galvis, a 1-out triple. Aaron Altair, an RBI ground out if you're just joining us. That in the first inning, Phillies have a 1-0 lead. That's foul right behind Mickey Morandini down there, coaching at first. Blanco just 4 for his last 27 at the plate. He's a switch hitter who bats twice as often from the left side of the plate as he does from the right. Bouncer, tricky play to turn 2 on. They'll settle for 1 as Owings has the underhand flip to Drury, and they erase Herrera.
Hey fans, lots of fun giveaways this summer. Tomorrow is the Paul Goldschmidt X-Wing Fighter Pilot Star Wars bobblehead giveaway, courtesy of Cox Communication. Next Saturday, July 1st, the first 20,000 fans will get a soft style State 48 patriotic t-shirt, and on Saturday, July 8th, fans can pick up the collectible cup set before the alumni game, courtesy of Sanderson Ford. Visit dbacks.com to see the full promotional schedule.
Big homestand here at Chase Field. Get your tickets at dbacks.com. Here's the catcher, Cameron Rupp, who homered off Patrick Corbin last week at Citizens Bank Park. Just missed with a fastball, and it's 1-0. Rupp is in an absolute nosedive right now at the plate. 199, 5 home runs. He's 2 for his last 29 up there. Cameron Rupp, the season was off to a fairly respectable start. He was hitting .274 back in the middle of May, but since then, over his last 20 games, he's hit .104. It's been a difficult stretch. Checks his swing, but it's strike 1. Two and 2. Good mid-90s fastball spotted by Patrick Corbin.
I'm sure a lot of Philly fans long for the days when Chooch Ruiz was behind the plate every game for the Philadelphia Phillies and brought it not only with the glove but with the bat.
Iannetta hangs on to the foul tip. First strikeout for Patrick. Some Phillies fans here with us today.
Rupp has to feel some heat down the back of his collar. Andrew Knapp, backup catcher for the Phillies, is getting more and more playing time recently. They like him a lot behind the plate. He's still kind of feeling his way along offensively as well.
Mark Leiter Jr., the pitcher. Blanco at first and 2 outs.
Judging from that first pitch, he hits a lot like his daddy too.
Well, his father, Mark Leiter, pitched for 11 seasons in the big leagues, played for 8 different teams, but did play 2 seasons with the Phillies. That was 1997 and 98. And that Mark Leiter Sr., while pitching for Philly in that 97 season, led the league in both losses and earned runs allowed. His Uncle Al was a little more accomplished at the big league level. That one bit Iannetta just a bit.
Chance to work with both of the senior Leiters. Mark Sr. rather, as I mentioned, was with the San Francisco Giants in '95 and '96, and Al Leiter was a rookie with the '89 Toronto Blue Jays. Pitched in 4 games that year. He was just a baby then. Yeah, that's Mark Leiter Sr. there with the glasses, behind the guy in the check shirt with the glasses.
Thanks for clearing that up.
With a little gray hair. Well, keep going.
1-2 on Mark Leiter Jr. His first major league start. Good to see Dad here in the ballpark with us. That one's going to roll foul. Mark Leiter Jr. grew up in Toms River, New Jersey, where they have a Little League powerhouse. He pitched his college baseball at the New Jersey Institute of Technology, which is not a baseball powerhouse.
You sure?
Well, I'm not actually, but I've never heard everyone that went there. You got somebody?
With the emphasis on technology and sabermetrics now, those are probably going to be the baseball powerhouses moving forward.
Fair point. He was a 22nd round pick by the Phillies in the draft 4 years ago out of the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Not sure what exit that's on. We should really check with our director, Phil the Iron Horse Malika. He is the New Jersey expert. He says exit 163.
I don't know.
I know everything in New Jersey is marked by the exit on the Jersey Turnpike.
Right. That's the way you identify where you're from in Jersey.
What exit?
Exit 19. Oh yeah, I know exit 19. I got friends at exit 20.
Brandon Drury won't get there. Leiter rolls it into right field. He found an open spot on that right side of the infield.
Well, maybe he is a better hitter than his father. Back in 1995 for the Giants, Mark Leiter Sr. went 6 for 61. That's an .098 batting average. He struck out 33 times in 61 at bats.
Hang with him. There's the proud papa.
And Mark Sr. would say they weren't paying me to hit.
The leadoff man, Cameron Perkins, the left fielder. Perkins grounded out right back to the mound to lead off the ball game. Blanco is the runner at second and Leiter the pitcher at first. Cameron Perkins spent this season with the Phillies AAA club in Lehigh Valley, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. He was hitting about 300 there with 6 home runs. Hard to shortstop. It goes right through the legs of Blanco. Long throw for Owings and a terrific backhand scoop by Goldie as Corbin strands 2. Diamondbacks trail it 1-0. Phillies 1-0. Hey fans, tomorrow game 2 of the Diamondbacks and Phillies series will be televised in Spanish on the Fox Sports Arizona Plus channel. Coverage starts tomorrow at 7 o'clock, presented by your Valley Honda dealers and streams live on Fox Sports Go. To find the Plus channel listings, visit foxsportsarizona.com. And there with Jerry Romo in the middle there, the great Oscar Soria, the play-by-play voice of our Spanish language broadcast on the left, and of course Rodrigo Lopez on the right.
Rodrigo had a gold helmet.
Yeah.
Paul Goldschmidt, X-Wing fighter pilot.
I'm gonna have to go down there and switch mine out with his. Rodrigo knows everybody. He has connections. Well, Jake Lamb leads off the D-backs second against Mark Leiter Jr. making his first major league start. Jake 282, 16 home runs, now second in the majors in RBIs, right behind Goldie. Leiter so far has come out throwing strikes. He worked a 1-2-3 first, struck out Descalso to lead off the ball game. This is Leiter's rookie season. He's made 12 appearances, but all in relief. This is his first career start, and he's ahead of Lamb 0-2.
Partner, they're going to have to build a corral pretty soon for all the lambs behind home plate.
It's a good idea.
It started out with just one lady bringing one lamb, and it's expanded throughout that section.
It's a movement, a groundswell. Foul ground. This will stay playable. Michael Franco has it. 4 up, 4 down for Leiter.
Hey, D-backs fans, a home run today means a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at participating Jack in a Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Chris Owings now. CO, a big home run yesterday at Coors Field. He's back home riding an 8-game hitting streak. He checks in at 291 with 9 home runs. We saw on that last road trip, Bob, CO hit a couple of line drive rocket home runs. One at Colorado yesterday, the other over the weekend to deep left center in Philly.
On pitches down in the zone.
Knocks that to center. Herrera has it. And that's out number 2.
I mentioned it at the time on the road trip. Chris Owings has always been, for me, a high fastball hitter, especially if they're up and out over the plate, where he could extend and drive the ball like he did that time to center field. But his last couple of home runs have been on pitches down and in, line drive home runs.
Well, 5 up, 5 down for Leiter. Here's Brandon Drury, the second baseman. Brandon 304, 8 home runs. Had the day off in Denver yesterday, but he's coming off that 4-hit, 6 RBI game at Coors Field Wednesday in the win over the Rockies. Fought it off inside, and it's fouled away. 0-2. Brandon Drury broken bat here. He has really been delivering the grinding type of at-bats that the Diamondbacks coaches and front office really wants to see, guys who control the strike zone. Those are the types of hitters they've been cultivating. Those are the types of hitters they just drafted. Here's the broken Drury bat. Guys who can, well, just like right now, scratch their way back into the at-bat if they fall behind early in the count.
And even if you don't end up reaching base or getting a hit, at least force that opposing pitcher to throw a boatload of pitches.
Like this.
Well, we've seen it so many times for the Diamondbacks offense this season. These kind of at-bats early in the ball game, as I said, even though they may not pay benefits right now, you force him to throw a lot of pitches early in the game, he may make a mistake to somebody hitting behind you in the lineup, may have to come out of the game a lot quicker than Pete McCannon would like, and then you get into that Phillies bullpen.
This is another grinding type of at bat from Brandon Drury. Good case in point right here. Hangs around, fouls off some pitches, takes a pitch or two. Suddenly it's 2-2, 3-2, and off you go.
Plus, you're probably going to see everything Mark Leiter Jr. has in your very first at bat of the ball game. No surprises, second and third at bat.
Now, obviously, this is his first career start, just his 13th career major league appearance. They haven't seen Leiter before, but a good example. Just go back a couple of days ago when they got a look at Jeff Hoffman in Denver Wednesday night. Hoffman pretty much took care of business early through the first 3 innings, but that second time around, the Diamondbacks put up that 10-run fourth. And Leiter gets his second strikeout. He set down all 6 he's faced and leads it 1-0.
Patrick is one of the rare few athletes on the mound.
He always makes bad jokes. He's the guy in the dugout who comes up with the one-liners.
Patricio. I call him Patricio.
Nasty dunker.
He could play a couple other sports professionally as well.
Pat will pull a prank on every bat boy that we have.
Me and Corbin are probably the 2 best athletes on the team.
I'm glad I don't have to face him.
All right, now it's Freddie Galvis who faces Patrick Corbin to lead off the third.
You'd be surprised how often other sports come up as the topic of conversation in the dugout or the clubhouse or on the bus or the plane. Guys will find out that somebody was all-state in basketball in high school and they'll get grilled on their game.
Yeah, these guys are sports fans too. They all have their favorite teams, stuff like that. Well, it was a big sports day here. Both first-round picks by the Suns and the Cardinals throwing out first pitches. There's Josh Jackson, the newest son, and the Cardinals' Hassan Reddick. One guy was a little better than the other.
Yeah, talking about other sports. Whew. Josh.
Good strike by Hassan Reddick, but Josh Jackson just a bit outside. So it's great to have those guys here with us tonight. Welcome them to the Valley sports scene. We'll count on Freddie Galvis. 3-2. He tripled in the first inning. Came home on an Aaron Altair RBI groundo. There's Jake Lamb at third. Well, you had quite an accomplished career at Coshocton High. That must have come up in the Giants dugout from time to time.
Absolutely. You know, I played a little hoops in high school. Could have played at some small colleges, but chose to pursue baseball at Ohio University instead. But yeah, basketball came up all the time. I mean, I played on Giants teams with Jeffrey Leonard,
the hack man,
who was the best at every sport ever.
According to Jeffrey Leonard?
Yes.
Does that include baseball?
Oh, yeah. You can play some baseball.
I didn't know there was a basketball interest in a young Bob Brenly back in the day at Coshocton. Who was calling?
Oh, yeah.
John Wooden?
Northeast Oklahoma A&M.
Oh, all the powerhouses.
The powerhouses. Sure, yeah. Marietta College. Mount Union.
Were they going to give you money?
A little money. Yeah, some of it was scholarship. Some of it was work study. You end up paying it off doing slave labor.
Up the middle, and it rolls into left center field. Aaron Altair, who drove in the first Phillies run, has a base hit. There he is from Agua Fria High School in Avondale.
Just a well-placed grounder back up the middle of the field for Altair. Once that ball gets past Patrick Corbin, you can see CO shading a little bit toward the hole between third and short. Couldn't quite get there.
Now, you in basketball, I picture kind of a Gene Hackman Hoosiers thing with your Chuck Taylors playing in these little tiny gyms with auditorium stages.
I played in gyms that were so small the out of bounds line was against the wall. You had to put 1 foot on the wall when you took the ball out of bounds. That was the rule. Oh boy.
You and Jimmy Chitwood.
Oh boy.
Were you a power forward, point guard?
I jumped center and then I played forward.
I can see that.
Horrible ball handler. I couldn't dribble much.
I see you as a solid 4.
I could rebound. I could score, you know, in the paint. Wasn't much of a shooter. Tenacious defender.
That's in the scouting report. That's what attracted, what was it?
Northeast
Southwest Oklahoma.
Yeah. I'll tell you the funny thing about it is I got letters from Northeast Oklahoma A&M, and yeah, I had, where in the world is that? And one time when my wife Joan and I were driving from Chicago back here to Phoenix for the winter, we actually drove right by Northeast Oklahoma A&M.
Did you just keep driving? That's the question.
Oh yeah, there was no reason to stop.
The one-time would-be basketball home of Bob Brenly.
I mean, the university was there and the people that worked at the university, and that was pretty much it. Little small crossroads town out in the middle of Oklahoma.
Tommy Joseph walked his first time up. Corbin ahead 0-2. The ball didn't have laces on it, did it?
No.
Okay, we're not going back that far.
But I did wear high top Chuck Taylors.
Everybody did.
Oh yeah.
Had to. Of
course, the big question with Chuck Taylors back then was high or low, black or white. That's all you had to choose from.
Called strike 3. Corbin rings up Joseph, his second strikeout.
Little backdoor slider that time from Patrick Corbin. No, actually that's a changeup. He turned it over. Thought he was trying to throw that slider to the back door. Instead, it was a straight changeup. We haven't seen a lot of those straight changeups from Patrick Corbin. He's kind of shelved it for the most part. He will show one occasionally, especially against right-handed power hitters like Tommy Joseph.
2 down for Michael Franco. He lined out to third his first time up. Patrick already over 50 pitches in the ball game through 2 2/3. Strike 1. Franco connected for a home run off Robbie Ray Sunday at Citizens Bank Park. Another lefty. The power has been sorely lacking for Michael Franco's game. They really need him to produce. He's a key middle of the order bat. But Franco, since the end of April, almost 2 solid months now, has hit just 4 home runs with 15 RBIs. They cannot win with him producing like that. Altair just back in time. Gary Cederstrom, the crew chief, at first.
Altair 3 out of 6 in stolen base attempts this year. Just a little bit of a flinch towards second base before diving back in underneath the tag.
On the ground is second. Easy play for Brandon Drury. We'll go to the bottom of the third. The Diamondbacks trail the Phillies 1-0.
You're defined by your home run call.
3-2 pitch on the way to Bradley.
That's about the shot deep to left. Up, and away! Out of here! So that would be your signature, like the end? Away and out of here!
Archie Bradley wearing a Fox Sports Arizona microphone before the game today. Wasn't bad by Jake Lamb.
Not hard to hide the microphone in that beard.
Yeah. Talk about being undercover. That's always fun when the Diamondbacks players agree to walk around with a microphone. Usually they know and nobody wants to talk to them, but Archie just sort of has a way of getting guys to talk.
Yeah, Archie could hide one of the stick mics that we use for the open in that beard.
Sitting in the bullpen out there. Yeah, you're on TV, Arch.
Hey,
yeah, they just showed it. Oh, I missed it. He was sitting next to Ruby De La Rosa, who just rejoined the Diamondbacks tonight. J.J. Hoover on the DL with shoulder inflammation. There's Ruby back from a long minor league rehab process after he had those stem cell injections to clear up that elbow injury. And his numbers in the minors, Ruby De La Rosa, have been sensational. Chris Iannetta leads off the bottom of the third against Mark Leiter Jr. Chris hitting .236, 8 home runs.
23 strikeouts against only 4 walks in 15 1/3 for Ruby De La Rosa down in Reno.
Been very promising process after they did everything they could to avoid another Tommy John surgery for Ruby. He's responded very well. Herrera won't get it. It's over his head and it rolls to the wall. Iannetta headed for second and he'll stop there. Another Chris Iannetta double. That's his 8th this year.
I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. A hanging split finger gets banged into center field. The center fielder badly misjudges the ball and then acts like he pulled a muscle. Ow, ow, ow. Didn't seem to bother him chasing the ball all the way to the warning track. Boy, another barreled up line drive off the bat of Chris Iannetta.
Everything is a line drive off the barrel of that bat lately. Had 2 doubles Wednesday in the win over the Rockies, Chris. He scored twice. So he's at second. Nobody out. Ray Fuentes, the center fielder. Yeah, they gave Odubel Herrera a long-term deal after he had a nice season last year, but that one, you might want to revisit that. He seems less than highly motivated.
I like the fake leg injury. Built-in excuse why he didn't get to it.
It's like a Rodney Dangerfield Caddyshack thing. Oh, my arm.
Yeah, runner in scoring position for the D-backs here. Last 14 games, they've hit .318 with runners in scoring position, including 20 extra base hits.
2-0 on Ray Fuentes. Ray's batting average creeping up there now at .247. Of course, it was his home run in extra innings that beat the Phillies over the weekend, his first big league homer. And he's got a 4-game hitting streak. In the air, right center field. Altair is over there. Herrera calls him off. Iannetta digs for third. He's going to have to hustle. And he is out of there. Well, Odubel Herrera makes up for his misjudgment of that Iannetta line drive fly ball. Throws him out at third.
Number 46.
No challenge from Torey Lovullo. I think Odubel Herrera was able to get underneath that ball a little better than Chris Iannetta anticipated. It looked like it was Altair's ball all the way, being a right-handed thrower, but Odubel Herrera calls him off and makes a good throw to third base. Maikel Franco with a nice pick out of the dirt for the out at third base.
So very quickly, bases empty, 2 down. 0-1 on Patrick Corbin. Oh, Mark Leiter, 3 strikeouts, 3 scoreless innings. Diamondbacks trail at 1-0. Phillies 1-0 here at Chase Field. Fans, MLB.com at bat, your #1 mobile app for live Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. You can stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get D-backs home screen icons and app features. as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, StatCast news, the whole thing. You can download MLB.com at bat today. Odubel Herrera leads off the Philly fourth against Patrick Corbin. Phillies got a one-out triple by Freddie Galvis in the first. He scored on an Aaron Altair RBI ground out. That's all the scoring so far. Phillies have out-hit the D-backs 4-1. They lead it 1-0. Herrera leads the Phillies in hits and extra base hits this year. He singled his first time up. So he's got 11 hits over what is now a 7-game hitting streak. And this is a guy, Odubel Herrera, who hits lefties. .265 hitter versus left-hand pitchers, including 3 home runs. This is bounced to shortstop. Nice belt-high hop for CO one away.
Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located here at Chase Field during any D-backs home game.
Andres Blanco in at second base tonight. Patrick Corbin working this game on a full week's rest. He beat these Phillies last Friday at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia. And Patrick in that start went 6 innings, gave up just 5 hits and 2 earned runs, pitched pretty well. It's a lazy fly ball for Peralta. Four in a row set down by Corbin. Here's Cameron Rupp, who homered off Corbin in that game. But Patrick, a week ago tonight, struck out 5 Phillies without walking a batter. And Patrick, in that win against Philadelphia last Friday, got a lot of swings and misses. In that regard, it was really one of his best starts in several years. That slider, which has always been his big pitch, of course, was missing a whole lot of Phillies bats last week. So far tonight, he's walked 1, struck out 2. He's already got 7 ground ball outs in the ball game through 3 2/3. Fastball misses up. It's 2-0. Good night to be at the ballpark, opening up a long 10-game homestand. 4 against the Phillies, 3 against the Cardinals, and 3 against the Rockies coming up next weekend. That's a stretch. And a lot of big days at the ballpark. Of course, Goldie, Star Wars bobblehead night is coming up tomorrow. And we've got matinee pricing on tickets for games Monday and Thursday here. As Rupp just drops one into left field in front of Descalso, a 2-out single.
It looked like Rupp was fooled by that pitch a little bit, but able to extend his swing and reach out there right off the end of the bat. 84-mile-an-hour changeup fading down and away. Just reaches out there and flips it into left field for an easy base hit.
There was a lot of talk just looking at that particular hit. It was all over the internet today. The home run that Blackman hit somehow in that game off Zach Godley to lead off yesterday. A pitch literally on his shoe tops. Kind of looked a little bit like Rupp there from the other side of the plate. Here's the pitcher, Mark Leiter, who singled his first time up tonight. I'm still not sure that I've ever seen a guy hit a home run on a pitch that low, and the internet wasn't sure either. It was on all the baseball websites today. Watch this pitch. How does Blackman hit this home run on this pitch off Zach Godley yesterday?
Oh, man. I saw it live. I've seen the replay a dozen times. I still can't believe it. I mean, that ball was going to bounce on home plate.
Boy, was he good yesterday or what? Patrick Corbin looking good as well. He's got his 3rd strikeout. Bottom 4 on the way. Diamondbacks trail it 1-0.
Trailing the Phillies 1-0. Daniel Descalzo up to bat next. You know, Bob, it's when you're the new guy on the block like I am, you kind of find the guys that you know in baseball. One of the guys I know is Daniel Descalzo from my days back in St. Louis. And I had an interesting conversation with him in the last homestand before you guys went on that road trip. And I just went up to him and I said, yeah, I'm going to be doing some Diamondbacks games, and you know, I just want to get your read on this team. And he had glowing things to say about his teammates, but he made a point to specifically talk about Torey Lovullo and what a player's manager he really is, and how much the guys have really taken to him in here in his first year. And Daniel's been around a long time. He's a role player. He's a starter sometimes, a bench guy sometimes. So he's been around the block, and he could not stop it talking about the impact that Torey Lovullo has had on this Diamondbacks club.
Yeah, it's been pretty significant, Pat. There's no doubt about it. Torey has, in a very, very short period of time, Bob, put his fingerprint on this thing.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, just taking the time every day to talk to each guy individually. If something happens the night before that could possibly be an area of concern, you address it right away, get it out of the way, and move forward.
You know, he's really been an observer during his time as a bench coach in Boston and with the Blue Jays in Toronto. He worked for John Farrell for a long time, and he was a real observer of how players react to different ways that they're approached, different types of conversations. How do they handle positive things? How do they handle negative things? And what's the best way to deal with that? And he's really almost made a science of it, that one-on-one relationship. How is this, not this player, but how is this person, this guy, going to respond if I do blank?
And that's where being a bench coach before taking over as the manager really helps, because the bench coach is the conduit between the manager and the rest of the team. You're constantly communicating with guys. Hey, if the pitcher spot comes up in the next inning, you're going to pinch hit. If they bring in the lefty, you're going to pinch hit. If we have to make a pitching change in this inning, they call down to the bullpen, alert those guys who might be the first one up in the pen. You just try to always keep guys abreast as to what you're thinking and why they're being used in certain situations.
And he's got a veteran bench coach himself now, and the great Ron Gardenhire, longtime Minnesota Twins skipper. Great to have Gardy back with us.
You know, not only that, but being the bench coach, players open up a lot more to coaches than they do to a manager.
Why is that?
I don't know. Something to do with the hierarchy. The further up the totem pole you go, the less people want to talk to you. But because Torey's been a bench coach, he's probably heard a lot of players complaining about their manager. Why am I not getting in the lineup? Why am I not getting these pinch hit at bats? And I think that has helped Torey approach this job, his first managerial job in the major leagues, based on what he's learned as a bench coach.
Yeah, so he thinks to himself, okay, in my experience, when this happens to a certain player, they generally respond this way.
Yeah.
And so he knows in that sense maybe what to do and what not to do. 3-0 on Peralta now. Diamondbacks still with only one hit against Mark Leiter Jr. in his first major league start. And Iannetta triple in the third. But now they start the second time through the order. There's the 3-0 strike. Aaron Altair, the Avondale native, playing in the outfield here. Peralta hits it right at him. Altair at the track. He's going to have to play it off the wall. The freight train stops at second with his 14th double. Oh, he is on a roll. That's 22 hits in his last 13 games.
That ball hard, 92-mile-an-hour center cut fastball. David got a little topspin on that one. Otherwise, it might have carried on out of here. But as it is, over the head of Altair in right field, off the wall. David in with a one-out double.
Blow that freight train whistle. He has been one of the best hitters in baseball for the last 2 months, David Peralta. Here's another one, Goldie. Major League RBI leader flying out to center his first time up. Cameron Rupp and Mark Leiter. Okay, how do we handle this guy? Tying runs at second, and there's no good way to pitch to Paul Goldschmidt right now. A 9-game hitting streak during which he's got 4 doubles, 5 homers, and 17 runs batted in. Coming off back-to-back 3-hit games in Colorado. Two and 0. Changeup missed upstairs. It's a dangerous pitch to throw against this guy. You're going to leave that up.
Just about every pitch is dangerous to throw to Goldie right now. With runners in scoring position in the month of June, Goldie's only hitting .542. 13 for 24, 6 extra base hits. He's driven in 20.
Well, that's how you get to lead the major leagues in runs batted in. He's got Peralta at second and 1 out. 3-0. Number 2 man in baseball in RBIs is on deck. There's a base on balls.
Goldie among the league leaders in just about every important offensive category. Our State Farm winning combo is Paul Goldschmidt and anybody on the mound. First in RBI, second in OPS, fifth in average, fourth in walks, first in runs scored.
I remember that game 2 nights ago against Colorado when they were up there against the rookie Jeff Hoffman. And Hoffman basically shut down the Diamondbacks the first time through the order. The second time through, they put up 10 runs in the 4th. Peralta a double, Goldschmidt a walk with 1 out. Here's Lamb, who popped up his first time. One and 0.
Thought it was interesting talking to Torrey in Colorado about the meetings that the guys have amongst themselves on the bench during a game, talking about the pitches they've seen, and they talk about the shape of pitches. You know, certain sliders are rollers, other ones are a J. You know, they kind of have a hook to them. Some almost look like an L. They come in and then it's just straight down and away from a right-handed hitter. And the hitters for the Diamondbacks talking about the shape of certain pitches from guys they were facing. Thought that was interesting.
1-1 to Lamb. Well, you go back to that final game we played against these Phillies. You might recall on a Sunday against Ben Lively. Goldie hit a 2-run home run in the first. Came back to the dugout and said, hey, watch out. That slider doesn't break as much as you think it does. It's a short slider. He told that to Chris Owings. Owings went up 2 batters later, hit a home run. Jake Lamb bidding for one high in the air, deep right field, but it'll stay playable for Altair. Peralta at second will head for third. Got under it just a little bit there.
Just got under it a little bit too much, high in the air to right field, allowing David Peralta to easily tag and move up to third. And then Paul Goldschmidt at first base. Watch him as he goes back to the bag. He's going to go back and tag up because he sees David Peralta tag up, and he alerts Jake Lamb, don't run past me. Goldie went back to tag up as well. When the throw came into second base, he had to stop and retreat to first, but that's how heads up he is. He's not only thinking about what he has to do, what the lead runner is going to do, and what the batter behind him is doing.
Boy, that seems like the littlest of little things, but nothing gets by him.
Nothing.
So it's Peralta at third, Goldie at first. 2 outs now for Chris Owings, who lined out hard to center his first time up. That's going to get out of play. Chris had a home run yesterday in Colorado, so he's back home on an 8-game hit streak. 2 on and 2 out here in the 4th. Another meeting now with Rupp and Leiter. Mark Leiter Jr., all 12 of his appearances during this rookie season have been out of the bullpen. And before this start tonight, only 19 major league innings under his belt. But holding a 1-0 lead, trying to get out of a jam in the 4th. Playable for Franco at third. And Leiter rolls the ground ball he needed. He strands two. It stays 1-0 Phillies.
Somehow like strung it up in your beard.
You like right here on the tip of my beard?
I was sitting like,
ow,
right in there.
It's deep. Some deep. Like you're trying to get some info on someone? No, this is not a wire on my shoulder.
You're talking to him like this.
What was that? What were you
felt
saying?
something in your beard. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, who knows what's in there?
I think something bit me.
Probably, dude. Served as a bird nest before. Kept some birds in here before.
Oh, that beard is luscious. Jeremy Hazelbaker not afraid to poke a finger in there.
It's everything you need to know about Jeremy Hazelbaker. He's fearless.
Gotta be to go in there. Our thanks to Archie again for wearing a Fox Sports Arizona microphone during batting practice today. We'll have some more of that for you as the game wears on. Now watch, somebody tells Archie, hey, dude, your mic thing, it's on TV. They all want to run in and watch. Cameron Perkins, the leadoff man, looks at strike two from Patrick Corbin. He's 0 for 2 so far. Corbin's got it. There's that athleticism. One down in the fifth.
Hey, D-backs fans, come out tomorrow to meet Jake Lamb at the Tempe Cox Solution Store at 2040 East Rio Salado Parkway. He'll be there from 11 in the morning until noon to meet fans and sign some autographs, so you do not want to miss out on this.
Freddie Galvis has scored the game's only run so far. Can't miss a chance to meet Jake Lamb. Patrick Corbin at 70 pitches, 47 strikes. Galvis tripled in the first, came home on an Aaron Altair RBI groundout. And that's been all the scoring so far. I gotta say, Bob, Mark Leiter Jr. looked pretty good so far.
Yeah, you know, if you were a scout sitting in the stands, you wouldn't grade out any of his stuff as plus pitch. His fastball sitting in the low 90s. There's a little bit of a sinker, a little bit of a cutter. That split finger's been real good for him, as it has been throughout his career. That's his go-to pitch. Yeah, just keeping the ball out of the middle of the plate.
Well, it looked like, you know, we've seen guys before, as we've mentioned, in those situations. The second time through the order, suddenly it blows up, and the Diamondbacks put 5 or even 10 runs up there. But Leiter got the 2 outs that he needed to end that threat. 2-2 on Galvis.
Yeah, and Patrick Corbin tonight, we've mentioned a few times the changeups that he's thrown to right-handed hitters. He's thrown 10 changeups through his first 70 pitches of this ball game, up to 74 now. But that changeup has been a work in progress for Patrick ever since he signed to play professional ball. He goes up the ladder to make that play 1-3. but the changeup is starting to become more and more a part of his repertoire, especially against those right-handed power hitters. Hopefully he's finding a good feel for it.
Yeah, if he can get that third pitch, that would really help out. Sky's up for this rebound. Aaron Altair, fans from the Valley certainly here to watch him, as well as some Phillies fans with us. Got a lot of Phillies fans spread around the ballpark, and some Philadelphia Eagles fans as well. Sitting there with the wife. That's Carson Wentz, Eagles quarterback. Apparently had a rough off season.
He really aged a lot.
Yeah, just a bit. Well, it was a long season when you're quarterbacking the Eagles.
He'll get no sympathy from Sydney.
No, that's not really Carson Wentz, but it could be. Can't check his swing. Fastball there from Corbin.
That's that one we used to call the bully fastball from Patrick Corbin. Inside to a right-hander, just locks him up.
Well, the Diamondbacks coaches really believe that Patrick's at his best when he attacks both sides of that plate. And they feel like he's always commanded the ball well glove side. Focus has been opening up the arm side this year, but if he can attack the strike zone on both sides, that's really going to help him out. Iannetta wants it up. Off the glove of Corbin, might still have time. But Altair, who runs well, beats it out. Just rolled too far away from the mound for Patrick to collect that one.
Yeah, Patrick had a chance to tie a major league record held by many.
All 3 assists.
First 2 outs were recorded 1-3. This one got just far enough away to allow Altair to reach.
That's his second hit tonight. Aaron Altair. He's also got the only RBI in the game. Patrick had 80 pitches now, 54 strikes, as Tommy Joseph comes up. Joseph has walked and struck out. Skies it up behind second. Brandon Drury will go to the bottom of the 5th. Diamondbacks only 2 hits. They trail at 1-0. Bottom 5 here at Chase Field. Diamondbacks trail the Phillies 1-0. D-backs fans, don't forget to stop by your local Fry. Stock up on your favorite Pepsi products using your VIP card. You'll earn valuable D-backs rewards points that you can redeem for merchandise and game experiences. Pepsi is the official soft drink of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Brandon Drury leads off the bottom of the 5th against rookie Mark Leiter Jr. making his first career start, and so far he's given up only 2 hits through 4 scoreless innings. Diamondbacks offense, which has just been bludgeoning people lately, having trouble get going now that we're back home. Diamondbacks 26-9 at Chase Field this year as we start a 10-game homestand, and now Drury's going to get it going by the glove of Franco at third. Oh, that went right by Franco.
That was quite the half-hearted effort down there by Franco.
That's kind of the way they've been playing lately. Iannetta barreled up a double to deep right center his first time up.
Well, we've been talking about Chris Iannetta and how hard he's hitting the ball this year. His career high slugging percentage was .402. This year he's slugging .528. And a lot of those hard hit line drives have been right at defenders. A couple feet one direction or the other, and he'd have a few more extra base hits, and that slugging percentage would even be higher.
Chris, in his last 15 games, 6 doubles, 6 homers, and 16 runs batted in. Look out! That almost got Tony Perez-Chica down there at third, and there's Skip Miller, our Golden Glover, down the left field line. That's out of Skip's range just a bit. There's our D-backs cowboy. Time to cowboy up here. Oh, and 2 on Iannetta. Floats a slider up there. Ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2. Chris Iannetta's had a knack all year for the big hit. 8 home runs this season. 6 of those homers have either tied the game or given the Diamondbacks the lead. Ray Fuentes will be next. Got him. Cut fastball from Leiter, 1 down.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations. That's the way to go. Have a birthday party at the ballpark.
Well, that's right below us here, right below our broadcast booth. Good crowd here. Expect big crowds all weekend. Still got room for you. Come on down as we open up a 10-game homestand with the first of 4 against the Phillies. Here's Ray Fuentes, who flied out his first time up. That's going to get out of play. How about Ray Fuentes? The bat has really come alive. Now, he opened the season after his recall from Reno 6 for 44. He wasn't hitting at all, but in his last dozen games, he's got 12 hits. Base running's been great. The defense been very solid out there. Covers a lot of ground in the outfield. And now the bat is really producing as of late. He's hit safely in 4 straight. Drury over there after a leadoff single. Dave McKay coaching at first. There wasn't a whole lot of time to get ready for Mark Leiter Jr. in terms of what Dave McKay does in the video and all that stuff. The Phillies actually waited until today to announce their starter for this ball game. Leiter Jr. was selected to take the place of Jared Eichhoff. Diamondbacks just saw Eichhoff in Philly over the weekend, but he just went on the disabled list with an upper back strain. Curveball in the dirt. It's 1-2 on Ray Fuentes. The pitcher Corbin on deck. Mark Leiter Jr. has made 3 starts for their AAA team in Lehigh Valley. 5 AAA appearances, a 4.74 ERA, and more hits than innings pitched. But so far, 4 scoreless. He's given up only 3 hits. And he strikes out Fuentes for his 5th strikeout.
And just as we anticipated, when Leiter needs a strikeout, he's going to go to that split finger. A lot of downward movement, throws it extremely hard there. You can see the tumbling action, splitting that index and middle finger wide apart.
Well, Leiter has found the big pitch when he's needed it. He retired the first 6 he faced. He stranded Ionetta's double to lead off the 3rd. And first and second, 1 out in the 4th and got out of it. And now he's trying to strand Drury's leadoff single in the 5th, throwing 1 on Corbin. Patrick can't check the changeup. 0-2. Descalso, the leadoff man, on deck. He struck out and flied out so far. Drury at first. Patrick Corbin, left field. Perkins runs it down. And boy, Mark Leiter Jr., 5 scoreless innings. He's got a 1-0 lead.
Time for our Geico This Day in Major League Baseball history. It's just known as the Sandberg game. Ryan Sandberg with a solo home run in the ninth to tie the game against the Cardinals in a nationally televised ball game, which was highly unusual back then. And then came up later in the 11th inning and hit another home run. Cubs ultimately defeated the Cardinals 12-11 in 11 innings of that ball game. Bruce Sutter just didn't give up very many home runs. That's what made it so shocking.
Yeah, that was a Bob Costas call in the NBC Game of the Week when that was a big deal back in the day. And of course, those '84 Cubs went on to have a Leon Durham moment against the Padres in the NLCS.
And a little bit of a tip of the cap to Cardinals outfielder Willie McGee, who hit for the cycle that day, and nobody knows it.
Maikel Franco 0 for 2 leads off the Phillies' 6th against Patrick Corbin. Diamondbacks can't get the offense going so far, only 3 hits. And remember last year we went to Philly early in the season and swept these guys, and the Phillies came in here and swept the Diamondbacks. So hopefully we're not seeing a start of that trend here as Franco pops up to open up the 6th. Phillies, this is a weird quirk in the schedule. By the time they complete this 4-game series here in Phoenix, the Phillies will have played a stretch of 17 games during which they play only 3 teams. I didn't think this was possible, but they played the Cardinals, then they played the Red Sox, then they played the D-backs. They just played the Cardinals again, and now they finish up against the Diamondbacks again. That's 17 straight games against the same 3 teams. Do you ever have that experience?
Not to the best of my knowledge. I'm sure it probably has happened somewhere along the line, but the good news is you don't have to spend nearly as much time on the advance meeting.
So there's a win-win. Brandon Drury. Corbin generating some weak contact here. 2 quick outs in the 6th.
Hey fans, the can't miss event of the summer hits South Beach when baseball's biggest stars take the field for the MLB All-Star Game. Go to dbacks.com/vote to send your favorite D-back to Miami and catch all the excitement of the 88th MLB All-Star Game July 11th live on Fox.
Andres Blanco, the second baseman, up there with 2 outs. 2 outs on 3 pitches for Patrick Corbin. And there's a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, coming into this inning, it has been another one of those starts. We've seen a lot of them from D-back starting pitchers this year. 12 outs on 4 or fewer pitches, 9 on 3 or fewer pitches through first pitch strike to, what is it now, 18 of 23.
Good sign for Patrick, who's won his last 2 starts. Now, granted, they're against the Padres and the Phillies, 2 of the worst teams in the league, but as you said in your key to the game, one's foot in front of the other.
Yep.
Two and one on Andres Blanco. That's popped up behind the screen and out of play. Corbin has pitched very well this year at home. Patrick at Chase Field 5-1 with a 3.45 ERA. In fact, he's got a 5-game home winning streak. He'd struggled on the road, but finally got that first road win of the year Friday in Philadelphia. 2-2 on Blanco. Base hit. I mean, Patrick has given up 3 or fewer runs in 6 of his 9 home starts this season. There's an excellent 5-1, 3.45 ERA in what is considered by far a hitter's ballpark. Just got that first road win of the season, his last time out against these Phillies. Now at 90 pitches, 62 strikes, he'll face the catcher Cameron Rupp. Philly Fanatic hat.
Is that a little baby Fanatic carrier there he's sporting on the front?
Is that a little baby Fanatic in there? That's what really concerns me. 0-2. Oh, we saw Carson Wentz earlier. Now we've got Apparently the Fanatics nanny is here, or au pair. So some of the Philadelphia elite are out here to watch the Diamondbacks. I mean, what are the odds of seeing Carson Wentz at a Diamondbacks game? Must be a big Phillies fan.
Must be.
Careful with Rupp here. He hit a home run off Corbin last week in Philly. No, we didn't go. Gary Cederstrom down there. It's 2-2.
Some strong hands and wrists and forearms to be able to stop that bat. A big strong guy like Cameron Rupp, once he gets it started, it's not easy to stop it.
2-2 from Patrick Corbin. Got him. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Let's get the offense going. It's 1-0 Philadelphia.
D-backs 1-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Hey fans, a day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code D-backs50 at papajohns.com.
You know, we always say Chase Field is the most fan-friendly ballpark in baseball, and a fan above us dropped their phone into the radio booth. So the governor, Greg Schulte, right there with some help from our great staff here, retrieved the phone. There's Leo Gilmartin looking on.
We thought perhaps there was some wildlife trapped up there behind the signage, but somebody dropped their phone from the upper deck.
I was afraid someone was going to fly out of there and go into our booth. Daniel Descalso. Hard to second, but right to Blanco.
That's 12 outs on 4 or fewer pitches from Mark Leiter Jr. tonight. He's been very efficient.
He's given up only 3 hits so far. Doubles by Iannetta and Peralta, a single by Drury. He's walked 1, he struck out 5. Here is Peralta. He was left stranded at third to end the 4th. Down 0-2. David coming off that 4-hit night in Wednesday's win at Coors Field over the Rockies. Had the day off yesterday. Cotton candy. Good call. Big crowd here tonight. Still got room for you. dbacks.com/tickets. As we open up a long 10-game homestand here. There's a lot of events. Got the Goldie bobblehead night coming up tomorrow. Matinee pricing on your tickets Monday and Thursday. Patriotic T-shirt night coming up on the 1st of July when we have our big fireworks display. So it's a big homestand for us. Come on down. Swing and bunt. Leiter has it. Got to hurry. Peralta is thrown out. 2 down.
Hey fans, grab your lightsabers. Tomorrow is Star Wars Day here at Chase Field, and the first 20,000 fans will get the Paul Goldschmidt X-Wing fighter pilot Star Wars bobblehead, courtesy of Cox Communications. Goldie's helmet is removable, and a few lucky fans, like Rodrigo Lopez, will get the special gold leader version with a gold helmet. Stick around after the game for a Star Wars themed fireworks show presented by Gila River Casinos. Visit dbacks.com/Star Wars.
There is Goldie. Walked his last time up. He's 0 for 1. There's his strike. First pitch slider from Leiter. We got our Cowboy fan back there. He's leading the cheers behind the Diamondback dugout. Check swing foul. He's 0-2. There he is. One of our hardest working fans. Wherever he's seated in the ballpark, seems like it's a different area all the time. He tries to get everybody going. He's got the Bum Phillips cowboy hat. Goldie coming off back-to-back 3-hit games in Colorado. He's homered in 3 of his last 4 games. Down here 1-2.
Well, possibly a tough decision for Pete Mackanin. Leiter spot is scheduled to lead off top half of the 7th inning. He's only thrown as many as 6 innings one time in the minor leagues. His last time out, AAA outing against Syracuse, went 6 innings of shutout baseball, gave up only 2 hits in that game, but we'll see what Pete Mackanin wants to do with his young right-hander.
80 pitches, 50 strikes. Goldie hits it high in the air toward the right field corner. Aaron Altair. He's got it in fair territory. Leiter is retired 6 in a row. He's worked 6 scoreless innings.
For a round of applause from Chase Field in the Fry's Food Stores Pitcher Ball Challenge.
1-0 ball game. Diamondbacks trail it as we start the 7th. Hey fans, Chaz Roberts has helped thousands of people in our community, and that legacy continues with the Chaz Roberts AC giveaway. You can nominate a deserving family or a nonprofit organization that needs a brand new AC unit. Log on to chazroberts.com/coolplay and submit your nominations, but hurry up. Entries are due June 30th. Great job by the folks at Chaz Roberts with that deal every year. Well, the pitcher spot will lead it off, and BB, as you mentioned, tough decision for Pete McCann. He's pulling the plug on Mark Leiter Jr., and Daniel Nava will hit for the pitcher to lead off the 7th.
Boy, an outstanding performance by Mark Leiter Jr. tonight. 5 strikeouts in 6 innings, did not allow a run, only 3 base hits, and the 1 walk he had in this game was after the David Peralta double back in the 4th inning. Goldie came up with a base open. You may remember Cameron Rupp went out to the mound. They talked it over, and that was his only walk of the ball game, pitching around Goldie back in the 4th.
Got Lamb to fly out, Owings to ground out to end the threat. 0-1 to Nava, batting for Leiter, the pitcher, make it 0-2. Daniel Nava, 1 hit in his last 16 at bats, following a 4-game hit streak earlier this month. He's in there at just under 280 with 3 home runs. Well, up in the Diamondback bullpen, just brought up today, Ruby De La Rosa from AAA Reno. J.J. Hoover goes on the 10-day disabled list with right shoulder inflammation. And Ruby has been just electric in the minors as part of his rehab process. 1-2 on Daniel Nava. Of course, Ruby was out much of last year with elbow problems. At the end of September last season, he received a stem cell injection in that right elbow from Dr. James Andrews. He rehabbed it in the offseason and through spring training. He's had 8 straight scoreless appearances out of the bullpen for the Reno Aces, and he has looked very, very impressive. 23 strikeouts in 15 1/3 innings in the minor leagues, and so here he is. Of course, they redid Ruby's deal at the end of last year. He got a new contract. It was a minor league contract, and so they called him up, put him on a 40-man roster, and to do that they had to designate Oscar Hernandez for assignment. So Oscar Hernandez, the Rule 5 catcher from all last year and the year before, on his way out of the organization, which is sad to see. As Nava strikes out to open up the 7th, 5 strikeouts for Patrick.
Good breaking ball down and in. Nava's got to try to protect the plate. Anything close, he just can't make contact that time.
Cameron Perkins, the left fielder. Only a handful of big league at bats, 0 for 3 so far. He's grounded out 3 times. Near the Phillies dugout and drifting out of play. Well, this is the 3rd consecutive encouraging outing for Patrick Corbin, certainly, as he's pitched into the 7th inning here. 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, only 1 run allowed on 7 hits. 6 of those hits singles. Mike Butcher and Torey Lovullo have to be pleased with what they're seeing from Patrick tonight. Just haven't been able to get him any runs. Owens at shortstop.
With all the off days on that last road trip, Torey Lovullo and Mike Butcher have had an opportunity to kind of massage the rotation a little bit, give some guys an extra day, which I think is a great idea. Whenever you can give a starting pitcher an extra day off. Zach Greinke will start on Monday.
Yeah, Robbie Ray goes tomorrow, and Randall Delgado picks up a start Sunday, and they push Greinke back to Monday. Freddie Galvis, especially coming off a series at altitude at Coors Field.
Sure. I mean, the Diamondback starting pitching has just been tremendous this season. They've pitched the 3rd most innings in all of baseball.
Galvis hits one high and deep toward the left field corner. Foul ball.
Yeah, just to finish that thought, the Diamondbacks starting rotation has pitched the 3rd most innings in the major leagues and given up the 2nd fewest homers.
And this one was almost a home run.
2nd best starters ERA in Major League Baseball. Only the Astros have a better starting rotation ERA. I mean, just everywhere you look up and down the pitching stats, not too hard to figure out why the Diamondbacks are where they are this year.
Well, the mantra from Torey Lovullo is get 21 outs. Every pitcher is going to go out there with the idea and the expectation that they'll get 21 outs, which is to complete 7 innings, and Patrick needs one more for out number 21. Now this one's going to stay fair in the corner for Galvis. He tripled in the 1st. Descalso has it in the corner. Now he doubles in the 7th.
It looked like a rolling slider that time from Patrick Corbin that just didn't get down where he wanted it. Stayed up and out over the plate for Galvis. Narrowly missed a home run earlier in the bat. Gets an extra base hit. Nonetheless, a double down into the corner.
Galvis now with multiple hits in 4 of his last 6 games, and unfortunately Patrick will have to settle for 20 outs tonight as Torey Lovullo goes to the bullpen. We'll take a break at Chase Field. Back after this. Backs calendar in 2017. It's the much anticipated return from a serious elbow injury of Ruby De La Rosa. Our Ash Line call to the bullpen. Bob, these numbers over 3 different levels in the minor leagues have been terrific. He has looked, by all reports, absolutely electric lately.
Well, the numbers would certainly indicate that. 18 1/3 innings, 25 strikeouts, only 4 base on balls. I'm not quite sure what that is he has on the inside of his right elbow. You see the little dots there, some kind of an adhesive band-aid or tape or something on the inside of that elbow. I'd be surprised if he's allowed to continue to pitch with that.
Part of it is under his sleeve. I don't know if they'll notice it. It's the same color as the sleeve. We'll see how it works here. First batter he faces is Aaron Altair, who singled twice and knocked in the game's only run.
Oh, it's got the MLB logo on it. It must be okay.
It's approved. Of course, Ruby really had the final 4 months of last season wiped out by that sprained UCL ligament in that right elbow, pardon me, the right elbow, and had not 1 but 2 stem cell therapy injections in the offseason, trying to accelerate the healing and avoid a second Tommy John surgery. His first was back in 2011 when he was a Dodgers rookie. So he had the first injection in September. Doctors really didn't see the kind of progress they'd hoped to see. And so he had another injection in late December. That one seemed to make a big difference. And he came to spring training at Salt River Field saying he felt super good, and he's certainly looked super good in his rehab outings.
Yeah, fastball at 97 and a snapdragon slider on the outside corner at 86. He certainly looks like he's back.
8 straight scoreless appearances for the Reno Aces. 0-2 on a good hitter, Aaron Altair. Oh, Adrian Johnson didn't bite. 98-mile-an-hour fastball from Ruby.
Just below the strike zone it appeared, but what a good pitch. 98 down there below the knees, outer third of the plate. Nothing you can do with that pitch anyway, unless you're Charlie Blackmon.
Torey Lovullo said before the game today that Ruby coming back from the arm injury, they've loved the fastball, they've loved the slider, and they're going to work him into the games here in low leverage situations. He's got a 1-0 lead in the 7th inning. This might be a medium leverage situation, but they want to work him in slowly and see how he progresses, trying to make it seamless for Ruby if they can. And welcome back, Ruby De La Rosa strikes out Aaron Altair with a wicked curveball and strands the 2-out double. Ruby De La Rosa is back, D-backs fans. Time to get some runs.
One nothing as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Our Ches Roberts cool play of the game. It stays 1-0 because Ruby De La Rosa comes in, his first appearance in the big league since last September, and he strikes out Aaron Altair. And for that strikeout, well, he earns our cool play of the game. Guys, talking with Ruby before the game, obviously he was excited to come back up. He was excited that he's completed this long rehab process. Steve, you mentioned a couple of stem cell injections into that elbow of his during that rehab process, and he talked about, you know, it was a 50-50 gamble for him. Do I have surgery? Do I do the stem cell situation? And he said it was a gamble. I took the risk and I won, and that's what happened. He was able to now pitch pain-free in that elbow.
Yeah, they had to redo his deal, Ruby. He's here on a minor league deal loaded up with incentives, but you know, Bob, that's another alternative to Tommy John surgery that's becoming more and more popular, that stem cell therapy injection.
And every time a guy has success with that stem cell injection and comes back and pitches effectively at the major league level once again, more and more guys are probably going to try to go that route instead of the Tommy John surgery.
A new pitcher for the Phillies is the right-hander Pat Neshek. He's been outstanding. He's probably been their best player this year, let alone pitcher. A 0.63 ERA, his 32nd appearance. Jake Lamb leads off the D-backs 7th.
Get a good look at Pat Neshek, because there's a pretty good chance he won't be with the Phillies after the trade deadline.
There's any team in contention would like to have this guy. He has been really good this year. he might be their all-star.
I mean, he has numbers at the major league level like Ruby De La Rosa had down in Reno. He's ridiculously good.
Jake Lamb. It's that oddball delivery that he's got that's worked for him for so long.
It's very, very tough for a hitter to time this delivery. It's just not fluid. A little bit herky-jerky, kind of jumps into the delivery, throws from that almost sidearm angle. There's a lot of things to deal with coming in for short bursts like Pat Neshek does.
Well, I'm going to predict good things will happen with this at bat because Chris Owings, who likes to joke around with David Peralta and call himself the little freight train, just used his freight train walk-up music and he dunks a base hit over Joseph's head. A one-out single. The little freight train's aboard. Chris has that song that he kept insisting that Peralta should use as his walk-up music, and David said, no, I'm going to stick with what I got. So CO said, all right, I'll use it and I'll be the little freight train. And he dunks one over Joseph's head. A one-out single brings up Brandon Drury. Brandon singled the lead off the fifth and was left stranded at first. Brandon Drury batting better than .380 over his last 13 games. He has been driving the ball all over the field. 4 homers and 16 runs batted in his last 13 games. Had a 4-hit, 6 RBI game at Coors Field Wednesday. Neshek drops a slider in there and Drury's down 0-2. Time to grind out another at bat. Don't think Torey Lovullo would extend Ruby De La Rosa into the 8th inning after he struck out Altair, the only batter he faced in the game. And the bullpen is busy for the Diamondbacks. So look inside the Sanderson Ford bullpen. The left-hander Jorge De La Rosa is on the right. The right-hander Archie Bradley is taking that microphone off now. He's on the left. And Brandon way out in front of that slider. 2 down.
Well, ideally, the Diamondbacks get down to that number 9 spot and pick the pinch hitter for the pitcher's spot. I think it's absolutely the right thing to do to get Ruby out of there. Coming back, you know, he had a lot of emotions, a lot of adrenaline. Came in and did what he was asked to do in a very, very tough situation against a good hitter. Let him walk away from this one with a positive experience. Come back tomorrow and be available again.
He comes in 1-0 game, 7th inning. Another run standing in scoring position. He struck out their number 3 hitter. That's a good start. Throw to first, and Owings is back inside. Well, Chris Iannetta so often has been the hero in these types of spots, these types of games. Iannetta tonight has doubled and struck out. Mentioned earlier, 8 home runs this year. 6 of those homers have either tied the game or given the D-backs the lead. So one of those would work nicely right here. But that's a tall order against a good pitcher like Neshek.
Pat Neshek this season has given up 2 earned runs, and they both came in the same ballgame.
It's a great stat. That's all you need to know about this guy. He's been lights out. Oh, he's on the run. Rups throw to second, not in time, and the Diamondbacks with a 1-2 count on Iannetta and 2 outs at the tying run in scoring position. That's stolen base number 10 for CO.
Really good jump by CO that time. Just made a guess that Neshek was going to go home rather than go to first base. Got a big jump and easily steals that base. Diamondbacks have really slowed down on the bases, especially since A.J. Pollock went on the disabled list. Through their first 49 games, they had 48 stolen bases. In their last 24 games, they have 10.
Well, as you've always said, teams are starting to counterpunch lately. Of course, it changes the equation when A.J.'s not in there, but other teams are stepping off and throwing over and quick pitching and all the other steps you do to try to slow down that running game. And Torre always says, even if you're not stealing the bases, you're in their heads, and so in one regard, it's working.
Yep. Talk about it all the time. Changes the defense, changes the pitch calling, changes what a catcher does behind the plate, certainly changes what a pitcher does on the mound. And if you can force them to make a mistake to that hitter worrying about a base runner, you've accomplished what you wanted to do.
Well, this has become a trademark Chris Iannetta at bat. We've talked about guys on this team that control the strike zone. That's a priority with this organization now. And CI is a guy that really, inside of the at-bats, grinds away, drives up pitch counts, has quality ABs in quality moments. And this is a big moment right here. 2 outs in the 7th, down 1-0. A single can tie the ball game. But he strikes out Neshek. 3 strikeouts in the inning. He strands Owings at second and keeps it 1-0 Philadelphia. Chase Field as we open up a 10-game homestand. A terrific outing tonight by Patrick Corbin. The Cox high-speed highlights. Patrick 6 2/3, gave up just 1 run, 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. Bob, they just haven't been able to get him a run.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It seems like there's always somebody in the rotation that suffers from a lack of run support, but Patrick did his job tonight, giving up only the 1 earned run in 6 2/3. He was really good once again.
And you saw that last out there. He had 11 ground ball outs in the ball game tonight, Patrick Corbin, so very effective. And now we start the 8th inning. It's still 1-0 Phillies. We've seen Ruby De La Rosa. Now here's the left-hander, former Colorado Rocky Jorge De La Rosa, his 30th appearance of the year. Tommy Joseph, the first baseman from Horizon High School, will lead off the Phillies' 8th.
I mentioned I think it's the right thing to do to pull the plug on Ruby, let him walk away with a positive experience his first day back. But I was really looking forward to Ruby De La Rosa against Tommy Joseph. Guy throwing upwards to 100 miles an hour with that snapdragon breaking ball against a good right-handed power hitter.
Joseph homered yesterday in the Phillies' win over the Cardinals at Citizens Bank Park. I have a feeling before this thing is over that over the course of the next 3+ months we'll see Ruby De La Rosa get a lot of big outs late in ball games just like this one. He is going to be a tremendous addition to this bullpen. And hopefully J.J. Hoover comes back from that shoulder inflammation. J.J. has gotten a lot of big outs for the Diamondbacks this year.
You mentioned that homer for Tommy Joseph against the Cardinals. We just happen to have the video.
It's our crack producer Brian Henry.
Oh, tomahawked a high pitch from Carlos Martinez way back in left field.
Tommy Joseph sits safely in 16 of his last 17 games. He's 0 for 2 with a walk so far tonight. Talking about different bullpen roles, it's interesting the way Torre has used Jorge De La Rosa. Obviously a long-time starting pitcher, now a reliever, Bob, but this is a guy they feel pretty good about against lefties and right-hand hitters.
He's got weapons to get lefties and righties out. That's one benefit from going from the starting rotation to the bullpen. You should have your full arsenal of pitches and not really be restricted to just facing lefties or just facing righties. He's pitched to righties and lefties his entire career.
I guess that's something of a luxury. If you're the manager, you don't have to worry about always matching up right left with a guy like this. Got him. Jorge De La Rosa goes to that cut fastball and strikes out Joseph.
Up in the zone, dangerous place to pitch to Tommy Joseph, but gets that hanging slider by him for strike 3.
Third baseman.
I was giving you the numbers earlier on the Diamondback starting rotation, how surprisingly good they've been this year. The relievers have been just as good. 5th lowest ERA in the majors, 3rd fewest home runs allowed, the best inherited runner score percentage in baseball. League average is 31% of inherited runners come around to score. The Diamondbacks have only allowed 19% to come around and score.
And part of it has been the emergence of Archie Bradley as a genuine weapon back there, and part of it too is the maturation of Randall Delgado, who continues to get better and better in both roles. In fact, Randall will start here Sunday afternoon, but the rest of it, Bob, got to give big credit to Mike Hazen and Jared Porter and the D-backs front office. They really did and continue to rebuild this bullpen.
And most organizations, most general managers will tell you that that's probably the easiest place to plug holes. You can usually find relief pitchers out there or starting pitchers that are making the transformation into the bullpen and kind of plug in guys that you need in certain roles in that pen, and everybody they've plugged in has done a nice job.
And they have more guys in the minor leagues who have very good numbers. And there's a lot of different options. Jake Barrett continues to make great progress, we're told, in the minors, coming back from a shoulder injury. 3-0 on Maikel Franco. Franco drives one deep right field. It backs up Peralta, and there it goes. Maikel Franco. That's number 9. And it's 2-0 Phillies. They've been waiting for Franco's power to show up again for a while, and he's starting to hit.
93-mile-an-hour heater up and out over the plate. Franco on the 2-0 count just tries to barrel it and hit it hard somewhere. It happens to go to right field over the head of David Peralta over the right field fence.
Franco, since the end of April, just his 5th home run. There's Odubel Herrera. Herrera singled in the second. He's 1 for 3. Funny, we just saw Franco homer off lefty Robbie Ray Sunday in Philly. Now a home run off the lefty Jorge De La Rosa. On the ground right to shortstop for Chris Owens. 2 outs. Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 8th will have Fuentes, the pitcher spot, and Descalso 8, 9, and 1.
Second baseman, Andres Blanco.
Andres Blanco singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Phillies 25 games under 500, the worst record in baseball at 23-48. But they lead baseball's hottest team 2-0. Makes you a little nervous that you'll remember last year. It was these Phillies that came in here and swept 3 from the Diamondbacks at Chase Field last year. After the Diamondbacks had swept a series at Citizens Bank Park earlier in the season, and of course the Diamondbacks just swept these guys, and now the Phillies are here for the return bout. And leading the opener 2-0. There's that De La Rosa splitter. 1 and 2. D-backs have been out hit 9-4. They trail it 2-0. 2-2. Big series at Dodger Stadium right now. The Dodgers, who lead the National League West, lead Colorado 5-1, so the Rockies continue to have their problems. Giants hosting the Mets. New York leads at San Francisco 7-1. They're in the 6th. Padres hosting Detroit. San Diego has a 1-0 lead. 6th inning at Petco Park. Jake Lamb at third. Tricky play for Lamb and a nice one. But Maikel Franco hits his 9th of the year. The Diamondbacks, as we go to the bottom of the 8th, trail it 2-0.
The 8th, Jody Jackson alongside Brandon Webb as we get set for Diamondbacks Live, presented by CenturyLink, our post-game show. And, you know, Brandon, 2-0. Diamondbacks pitchers have limited that damage. D-backs looking to come back in this game. But I know one thing you're going to talk about is Mark Leiter Jr., first major league start, and he was pretty good tonight.
He was very good for 6 innings, kept the D-backs hitters off balance, had a great split finger. We had a Ruby De La Rosa signing for a hitter, looked exceptional. And then we got 2 more cracks at it. The D-backs at the plate, so they can come back and get something done.
I like how you're thinking there, Brandon. All right, much more to come, and we will see you after the game.
Okay, guys, thanks. Look forward to that. It's our Gila River game summary. Patrick Corbin, pretty good tonight. 6 2/3, gave up just the 1 run. Mark Leiter Jr. in his first career big league start was very good, 6 scoreless innings. And now Ray Fuentes leads off the bottom of the 8th against the new pitcher for the Phillies. It's the veteran right-hander Joaquin Benoit. Franco in at third on the grass. And there's ball 1 from Joaquin Benoit.
The next run that the Diamondbacks score against Joaquin Benoit will be the first run they've ever scored against him. In 21 previous games, totaling 20 1/3 innings, D-backs are 5 for 60.
He's been doing it for a long time, Joaquin Benoit, although a little shaky lately. That 4.23 ERA. He's given up 2 home runs in his last 5 innings after giving up just 1 in his previous 17 innings. So maybe they can get to him here.
He doesn't give up a lot of hits, only 19 base hits in 27 2/3, but he has walked 13 opposing batters.
Need a base runner. Pitcher spot up next. Jeremy Hazelbaker in the on-deck circle. Daniel Descalso after him. Fuentes has flat out struck out 0 for 2. He's got a 4-game hit streak on the line. Hazelbaker will hit for the pitcher. Three and 1. Ray Fuentes had that big home run Sunday in Philly off Genmar Gomez, who was just let go by the Phillies and won that ball game 5-4 in 10. He looks at strike two. It's a full count. Ray Fuentes hitting better than 400 over his last 12 games. Trying to get the leadoff man aboard. Only 4 hits tonight for the Diamondbacks. Another 3-2 from Joaquin Benoit. Over the glove. Fuentes can fly, and he's aboard. Just high enough to get it over Joaquin Benoit's outstretched arms.
Number 41.
Hit them where they ain't. Little bouncer off that hard dirt out in front of home plate, gets over the head of Benoit. By the time Blanco gets to it, he has no chance to get Ray Fuentes at first base. He's really motoring down that line.
Hazelbaker will hit for the pitcher De La Rosa. Jeremy 326 and a homer. He singled, walked twice, scored twice in a start in right field yesterday in Denver. Tying run at the plate in the 8th inning. Nobody out. Cell phone lights are on here at Chase Field. 0-1 on Hazelbaker. 5 for 14 as a pinch hitter this year. Here they are. Michael Franco even with a bag at third. Herrera in center, couple of steps over toward the pool. Joseph holding Fuentes on the bag at first. Out in front of a changeup, and it's 0-2.
Changeup out of the slide step. That's such an effective pitch. You see that pitcher on the mound kind of jumping toward home plate with that quick slide step delivery. And as a hitter, your tendency is to speed up the bat a little bit, and then he threw a changeup. Jose Valverde's specialties when he was closing here for the Diamondbacks, the slide step split finger. Guys would see Papa Grande jumping toward home plate. They would jump toward him expecting a fastball, and then he'd throw that splitter, and guys would screw themselves into the ground.
0-2 on Hazelbaker. Got him. Went to that fastball at 96. 1 down.
Left fielder
Daniel Descalso 0 for 3 in the leadoff spot tonight. Descalso's played a lot this month, and it might be starting to catch up to the Diamondbacks a bit. 15 games in June, a dozen starts. He's hit under 190 for the month. Fuentes at first, 1 out. 2-0 Phillies in the 8th. Although no matter what Descalso's hitting, the way that he controls the strike zone and the type of quality at bats he gives you, you want him up in situations exactly like this one. Down the right field line. That's a fair ball. It's in the corner. Fuentes flying around third. Descalso heads for third. Here's the throw, and he's in there. Like I said, you want him up there in exactly these types of situations. Daniel Descalso.
And Descalso is the only player on the D-backs roster that has homered against Joaquin Benoit. This was not a home run, but it's an RBI base hit down into that right field corner.
And the tying run's now 90 feet away with one out in the eighth. Fuentes was absolutely going to score all the way. And here's David Peralta, infield in for the Phillies. Peralta doubled in the fourth. He's 1 for 3. Oh, come on! Freddie Galvis was right there as Peralta hit an absolute rocket up the middle. And that just saved the Phillies' lead. Well, you can't hit it better than that.
You see where he's positioned up the middle of the field. That ball right by the pitcher, right to the shortstop. If he was playing anywhere near a normal shortstop position, that's through for base hit.
Well, here's the Major League RBI leader, Paul Goldschmidt, 0 for 2 with a walk. They got Lamb on deck. They'll pitch to Goldie. Ball 1. What would you do if you were Pete McCannon right here?
Retire. You know, Pete's an old school guy, and the old school conventional wisdom is you don't walk the tying or winning run intentionally. So he's not going to put Goldie on base, at least not intentionally. They may pitch around him, pitch very carefully in this situation, but it's just not part of Pete's game.
Goldie with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, a .324 hitter. He comes into the homestand red hot on a 9-game hitting streak, 17 RBIs in his last 9 games. Tying runs at third with 2 outs. Cameron Rupp keeps it close. 2-1 on Goldschmidt.
I mean, we've all heard the cliche, pick your poison. This is about as good an example as you could possibly have. Goldie in the month of June hitting .542 with runners in scoring position. Jake Lamb since the middle of May hitting .400 with runners in scoring position.
Goldie has RBIs in 5 straight games. Listen to this. Chase Field is ready for this one. Joaquin Benoit and Paul Goldschmidt.
This is one of those moments that Torrey likes to talk about.
He gets a base hit. This play's going to go nuts.
Oh, yeah.
They are ready for it, man. 3-1 with Lamb on deck. If you're not down here, this is what you're missing. dbacks.com/tickets. 10-game homestand starts tonight. He walked him. Jake Lamb, 2 on and 2 out. The Lambs are ready. Jake tonight 0 for 3.
Now that's third baseman, Jake
D-backs get that tying run home from third with 2 outs. 61 runs batted in, second in the majors behind only Goldie, who's at first. Ball 1. Cameron Rupp wants to talk it over.
D-backs with 26 comeback wins this season, tied with the Angels for the most in the major leagues. They've been in this situation many times already this year.
See if Jake can flex his muscles. Chased a high heater, 1-1. You don't usually see him bite on that pitch.
It's so tough to lay off of that pitch. You see it as big as a beach ball. Anything straight up in the zone, it looks like something you should take a hack at.
Adrian Johnson says strike 2.
I think it was a good pitch. Cameron Rupp didn't do his pitcher any favors out there. Pitch is right down at the bottom of the zone. He pushed it down a little farther as he caught it and then pulled it back up to the bottom to get the call.
Good call right at the bottom of the zone. A ball and 2 strikes. That one got Adrian Johnson behind the plate. It stays 1-2. Daniel Descalso is the tying run at third. Paul Goldschmidt the go-ahead run at first. 2 outs, 1-2 on Jake Lamb. Got him. Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get 1. A 2-1 ball game as we hit the 9th.
top of the ninth. Tough at bat there for Jake Lamb against Joaquin Benoit, the veteran. Started him with hard stuff, 96 in, 95 up, 95 at the bottom of the zone, 96 inside, and then finishes him with an off-speed pitch fading off of that outside corner at 83 miles an hour.
Well, that's a good pitch by Benoit, because he can't get hurt if Jake doesn't bite at it, and he gets the chance to get him to chase, and it worked out perfectly for him.
Well, and you see a flurry of mid to upper 90s fastballs. It's just human nature. You want to speed up to make sure you can get on that fastball, and then Benoit threw the off-speed delivery.
Well, this is the first of a 10-game homestand, first of 4 against these Phillies. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Tomorrow night's game, it's a 7:10 start. A little later than we're used to. Diamondbacks live pregame show at 6:30. For Ben Lively, we saw him over the weekend at Citizens Bank Park. He looked good against Robbie Ray.
Yeah, night game tomorrow, but there are 4 day games coming up, and there's a rumor it's going to be hot here in Phoenix.
Just a rumor, though.
Yeah, come on down, use our air conditioning. There's a day game Sunday, a day game Monday, a day game next Thursday, and also another day game the following Sunday.
And if you haven't bought your tickets for tomorrow night yet, better get on it, because it's Goldie's Star Wars bobblehead night tomorrow night. Cameron Rupp, the catcher, leads off the ninth against lefty T.J. McFarland, the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks. Rupp the pitcher spot, and Perkins 8-9-1 for the Phillies in the ninth. And Cameron Rupp has his second hit tonight. That'll bring up Howie Kendrick, who will hit for the pitcher. Kendrick was a late scratch from the starting lineup. Here's the numbers on TJ, and an excellent 1.66 ERA. Kendrick a late scratch with some hamstring tightness, but he's okay enough to hit for the pitcher here, Benoit.
Yeah, Kendrick was ready to hit in that 8th inning if the Phillies got down to that pitcher spot. I noticed him in the first base dugout with his batting gloves on, had a bat, helmet nearby, but Phillies didn't get down to that 9 spot in the 8th.
Kendrick has really hit the ball well lately. He begins this series with a 4-game hitting streak, and he's got 10 hits in his last 19 at bats, all singles. Base clogger on the bases, though, and the catcher Cameron Rupp. Change up away, missed. It's 1-1. Diamondbacks in the ninth will have Owings, Drury, Iannetta due up 5, 6, and 7. Howie Kendrick sends one deep right field. Peralta won't get it. It's off the wall and in the bullpen. So Rupp will have to stop at third. Howie Kendrick, who is better than a .420 career hitter in this ballpark, does it again.
And most of those hits that have added up to the .420 average have been to the opposite field, just like this one. Tailing fastball on the outside part of the plate. Gets a barrel on it down that right field line. David Peralta misjudged his jump just a little bit there, hit the fence, and then bounced on up into the bullpen.
Hit it to the deepest part of that corner, Howie Kendrick. Always has been a problem for the Diamondbacks in this ballpark. So Rupp's at third, Kendrick's at second. TJ trying to keep this a 1-run deficit here. Nobody out, and the infield will come in. Here's the left fielder Cameron Perkins, who's 0 for 4. And Perkins has hit the ball on the ground all 4 times he's been up tonight. So hopefully he comes up here and hits it right at a D-backs infielder.
Yeah, defensively, D-backs are going to be a little limited because they're playing the infield in, want to cut off any more offense in this game from the Phillies. So it's going to have to be hit at or near one of the infield defenders.
1-1. Perkins only a handful of major league at bats. He just got called up this week from the minors, his major league debut. 2 for 15 at the plate. 3-1. Freddie Galvis, who has tripled and doubled tonight, is on deck. In the air near the right field line. Long run for Peralta. And he's got it in foul ground. Here comes Rupp. Here's the throw, and it's not in time. Kendrick moves into third, and it's 3-1 Philadelphia.
Shortstop, Freddie Galvis.
David had all his momentum going directly into foul territory that time. Had to slam on the brakes, stop as quickly as he could, and get that throw off to home plate. You mentioned Cameron Rupp does not run well, but even he had enough time to get down the line and score.
Galvis tripled in the first. He doubled his last time up in the seventh. Infield stays in with Kendrick at third and 1 out. That's foul. It went under the glove, and Kendrick will score. It's 4-1. It was hit right to him. That's exactly the kind of ground ball that you're hoping for with the infield in like that, and it just didn't get executed.
As I mentioned, when you're playing your infield in, you don't have as much range, but CO didn't need any range on this one. Just hit near his right foot, went back to the backhand side, and just got underneath the glove into left field.
Here's Aaron Altair, who was singled twice and knocked in a run. McFarland has it at the mound. He goes to second, and they are able to get the force. 2 down.
It was pretty heads-up play by T.J. McFarland. I don't know if he had enough time to plant, turn, and throw to first to get Altair, who runs really well. So he just fires to second base to get the lead runner. Pretty heads-up.
A chance for Tommy Joseph, the Horizon High School product, back in town. 0 for 3 with a walk so far. 2 runs are in. Altair the runner at first, and 2 outs. One 1-0 on Tommy Joseph. Tommy married a local girl, his wife Allie. They both met at Horizon High School in Scottsdale. Allie's had a very accomplished military career. She's been stationed the last 4 years at Eglin Air Force Base in the Florida Panhandle as a labor and delivery nurse, and her service ends at the end of this month. So they won't have a long distance marriage anymore. Both of the couple excited about that, certainly. Allie's been on active duty since 2013.
And we thank her for her service.
Sure do. Franco on deck. He homered his last time up. High in the air, right center field. Peralta at the wall, and it's in the pool. Tommy Joseph from Horizon High School in Scottsdale to the swimming pool at Chase Field, and the Phillies have opened up the lead at 6-1.
Tommy Joseph had been 0 for Arizona before that swing of the bat. 0 for 11 last year, 0 for 3 tonight. Got a pitch he liked up and out over the plate there from T.J. McFarland at 93. Just rode it out of here to right center field all the way into the Ram Trucks pool.
Splash down on the fly for Tommy Joseph. Here's Michael Franco, who homered out there his last time up. Number 12 on the year for Tommy Joseph. This is not the kind of outing we've seen from T.J. McFarland this year. He has been very dependable, but you can't get him all out all the time. TJ is a guy that Torey Lovullo really has a lot of faith in. Two and two on Michael Franco. Full count, 3-2. No double Herrera, the on deck hitter. Phillies have now out hit the D-backs 12-6. High bouncer to shortstop for Owings. We head to the home half of the ninth. Diamondbacks trail at 6-1. Well, scoreboard watching, that's what we're going to do all summer long here in Phoenix. The Rockies are in LA, and the Dodgers have opened up a 5-1 lead on Colorado. They're in the 7th inning. Bellinger goes down and gets that one. So 5-1 LA leads the Rockies in the 7th at Dodger Stadium. Diamondbacks in a virtual tie for second in the division with Colorado, just a game and a half behind Los Angeles. And the Dodgers right now, BB, are rolling.
Yeah, they are. They're getting a different hero every night, although Cody Bellinger seems to be involved just about every night. But yeah, they're getting offense from all quarters down there in L.A.
Chris Owings leads off the ninth against the new Phillies pitcher. It's the right-hander Hector Neris. Now, we saw Hector Neris. The last we saw him was Sunday in Philly. He came on to start the ninth inning. And the Diamondbacks got a walk, a single, and a Blanco RBI single that tied the game at 4 and set up Ray Fuentes' home run off Jenmar Gomez in the 10th. D-backs won at 5-4 to sweep the series. CO singled and stole a base his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Rally caps in place. Saw a couple of 4-run innings yesterday in Colorado. Had a 10-run inning there 2 nights ago. Third base, Michael Franco. Got a big arm down there. One away. Here's Brandon Drury, Jody Jackson, and Brandon Webb standing by. Diamondback Live postgame show follows our ball game. Don't forget, fans, tomorrow night, big night here. 7:10 start. Goldie Star Wars X-Wing fighter pilot bobblehead night tomorrow night. That'll be Robbie Ray on the mound against Ben Lively. And then day games against these Phillies both Sunday and Monday. Monday is a 12:40 start. Zach Greinke gets the baseball against Nick Pivetta for the Phillies. Go to dbacks.com/matinee. You'll get a break on your ticket price for that 12:40 start here to watch Zach Greinke on Monday. One and two. Splitter from Hector Neris. Went back to it but missed inside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chris Iannetta will be next. He doubled in the 3rd. On go again. Sets and throws. 2 down.
When Hector Neris is on top of his game, you see a lot of that. Smothered ground balls to the pull side of the field. The right side for left-handed hitters, the left side for right-handed hitters. That splitter, he throws it hard, has a lot of downward movement. Tough to get that pitch elevated.
Iannetta last man standing. It's just tough making any kind of contact against Hector Neris. He's got 17 strikeouts in his last 12 innings. Boy, you sort of knew when Peralta hit that rocket in the 8th inning right to Freddie Galvis at shortstop that should have tied the game, that maybe this wasn't going to be the Diamondbacks' night. Tying run was at 3rd base. Peralta hit a missile right up the middle of the field, but Galvis was standing right there. And the Phillies answered with a 4-run 9th. 2-2 on Iannetta. Come back and get him tomorrow night with Robbie Ray on the mound. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6:30. First pitch at 7:10. Full count, 3-2. Ray Fuentes on deck.
Called strike 3, and that's the ball game. Well, this game had some dramatic moments for D-backs fans as they welcome their team back for a long 10-game homestand. Bottom 8, they had the tying run 90 feet away, but couldn't quite get it home. And they dropped the opener of this 4-game series to the Phillies 6-1.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to young Mark Leiter Jr. Outstanding first start of the season for him, and the Phillies bullpen was up to the task tonight. Diamondbacks might have left their bats in Colorado. They need to send a truck back there to get the bats.
Yeah, Leiter 6 scoreless. Phillies out hit the D-backs 12-6, and they take this one 6-1. Let's let the Diamondbacks Live post-game crew get started. Brandon Webb standing by with Jody Jackson. Jody.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve. That's right.